Keith, you're an intuitive man. When do you think Lane's mind was made up? Do you have in your head a date, a specific time when you feel like he was definitely going?
Well, of course, I didn't find out officially until this past Saturday night around 5 p.m. But it kind of started to feel like things might be going the other way, kind of the week before, and started catching a few vibes that maybe he might be thinking about leaving. But obviously, we had a huge game that week against Mississippi State, and the chancellor and I felt like it made the most sense to let him continue to coach that game, and obviously we were over in the football building and monitoring practice and so much credit to our team for playing a great game and winning that game against Mississippi State. Our staff, holding the guys together. But then that Saturday after when I found out, and as I mentioned, once he let me know, we had to go in another direction, obviously, and we made it clear that Coach was not going to be able to coach in the playoffs, and couldn't be more happy with Pete Golding, who we've named as our new permanent coach, and we're excited to let our guys and this new staff, get after it here in the college football playoff.
Uh, you know, Lane said on Sunday that the players, asked you to let him coach through the playoffs. A couple of your offensive linemen, Bryson Sanders first, said, I think everyone that was in that room would disagree. The players did not ask for that. Was Lane bloviating there a little bit, or is it a mixed bag? Some did, some didn't.
Yeah, and I've done a couple of interviews, and I don't want to get into a lot of just the specifics of that meeting and breach some of that confidentiality. Obviously, our players and our guys are more than welcome to do that, but I think that's certainly not accurate. That he was the players were begging for him to stay. I think our coaches, our student athletes, realize they do need coaches for this playoff run, and I think that they were really more interested in what their position coaches and what their opportunity to coach was going to be. And so I think that was more of the questioning from that perspective. But again, we're in a good spot now. We got a great coaching staff that's going to be ready to roll. And again, with Pete Golding, leading the charge, we feel like we can get some momentum and go win a national championship.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, and what if you did? If you do? I mean, that's the biggest darn national championship, not just for Ole Miss, but that's international news, sir.
Well, it would be a great story, and here's why. Because the focus is now shifted back to these players, and I think the last 4 or 5 weeks, so much focus has been on what was Coach Kiffin going to do, and we've got some great story. Obviously, we're 11-1, we're number 6 in the country. We've got a quarterback that is just an incredible young man, comes from Division II and is having an incredible year this year. We have a running back that I don't know why he's not getting more recognition in the Heisman conversation. Well over 1,000 yards rushing, 20 touchdowns. We've got just guys up and down this roster that have great stories. And so, to me, to kind of put the focus back on them, that's exactly what Coach Golding has talked about, in the first few days of his tenure as our new head coach. Let's focus on these guys that have done this work on the field. And man, if they could make a run here in this postseason, it truly would be one of the greatest stories of all time.
Keith, you got to like I mean, it looks like a pretty good draw. I mean, whichever way it goes. I mean, it looks like you'll play Virginia first at home. Is that the way is that right?
Well, there's a couple of different scenarios. Obviously, we're 6. There were in this poll. There's one more poll that comes out on Sunday, but the 6 seed plays the 11 seed. So, yeah, on paper, the matchup would seem to be good. But as we know, when you get into the playoffs, all these teams are really good. The beauty of it is that we would be hosting at home in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. Oxford, Mississippi would be on fire for that game, and just so much fun there and well deserved. For these guys.
Who's going to get Are you ready? Who's going to get it on that day? The governor?
Most days I don't even know till I see it on the field. Like they keep it such a secret. So I'm not sure we have that plan yet, but that's always exciting for me as even the AD that I don't know until I see it when it actually happens in real time.
It might be logistically impossible, but I think head coach Pete Golding might be a hell of an option for that moment.
Yeah, we were able to introduce Pete at a men's basketball game last night, and the crowd went crazy. We brought the team out on the floor as well, and just well received. I think it's really galvanized not only the football building and the players and the staff, but our fan base is super excited to see what these next few weeks can bring.
Some people say, well, look, everybody in college football now, the athletes, the coaches, they're all 1 year mercenaries. They come in, they do their thing, they represent the school, but, how many of them stay? Who knows? Can you articulate for people who may not be so inside as to why it's not good for Coach Kiffin to take the new job and also coach his way through the playoffs? And also, did you make that a no-go from the start with him?
Yeah, we were pretty clear, for a few weeks that if Coach, was going to take another job, that there would not be an opportunity to coach this team in the playoff. And so, I think that's something that was kind of a non-negotiable with us. And again, there's some nuance to that. We want to put the players in the best possible, opportunity to win these games. But when you leave, not only for another college team, but a rival, that's on our schedule next year, that we play in Oxford, Mississippi next year.
Mm.
It's time to, if you take that job, it's time to go ahead and go take that job, And so, but back to your original point, I agree that things have certainly changed a lot with the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness and rev share. But I do truly believe, Billy, that these young men and their young women on our women's teams, they do care, and they are still competing at a high level. They still want to get an education. There's still a lot of great things about college and college athletics that haven't changed. And so, again, I just love the fact that we're able to kind of put the focus back on the players and really focus on what matters, and that's going and finishing this thing the way we need to.
There's no question. I mean, if you look at, orientation week when you're a freshman going to college, in 5 days, you're best friends with some people and they end up being friends for life. So over a football season, there's no question that a character and a team, comes together. And there's tremendous passion. But, for Ole Miss fans, I think they understand, right, because of the way the college football landscape is, that a coach could leave before the end of the season, and this can happen. Is the issue that Oxford is really upset. Ole Miss Nation is upset. I can feel it because of the way maybe it went down, and a lot of people thinking there was social media posts and things that kind of led the fans to believe that this was a real relationship, and that there was nostalgia and love for the town, and there was longevity there. Is that naive, or is that right for them to feel that?
Well, I do think the way the schedule and the calendar is set up now, it does put some of these coaches in tough positions with timing. If they were to going to take a new job, I just think this one's really unprecedented because we're the sixth ranked team in the country. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like he's going from a doormat to some program that's elevated at a really different level. We look at LSU as a lateral move, and maybe we're even in a better position than they are
Well,
right
you're
now.
in a better position this season. They're
We
not
are.
in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, for someone that wants to, take another job to pursue national championships, when literally, in 18 days from now, you're going to have an opportunity to chase a national championship right here in Oxford. I think that's why people just don't understand. And so, but you know what? He made that decision. We'll respect that decision. We made some decisions that we feel good about, and certainly feel good about Pete Golding, leading this team and this program moving forward. And we're going to go win a natty. That's the plan.